Okay, so what it is, I've just come out to do some testing with these cheap lenses. So what I'm on right now is the £15 12mm lens. So what I've done, when I was indoors, I plugged the camera into a monitor and I'd then done some critical focusing for this exact distance, which is what I call my full arm's length vlogging distance. So what I've done was plugged it in, set focus, and then marked it on the lens. So right now what it is, if I go out with either of these two lenses, I can quickly set them to be this distance for focus without any messing about. Now the only problem with this lens, it's not very good, but it was £15 and it just gives me an idea of what the field of view is going to be like for a good 12mm. So basically what I'm hoping for is that it'll be good for something. I mean, already it's probably paid for itself because, I paid £15 to find out what kind of field of view I'm going to need without spending too much money to find that out. Okay, so this will be a good enough test for this lens. So what I'm going to do now is flip over onto the Olympus lens. Okay, so this is now the Olympus lens, and just as with the other one, the focus on this is going to be the best that it can be because it's already been pre-focused. Now the other thing is as well, although this is a cheap lens, it cost me £35. I did get it cheap or cheaper than what it should be because I got it on eBay. But it was brand new as well, so how I got it for that price I'm not too sure, but I think they're about a £70, £80 lens. But in all honesty, it's not bad. As for the field of view, it may not be wide enough for doing vlog and stuff at full arm's length like this, but what it most certainly will be good for, as long as it resolves enough resolution, is to mount it on a tripod and then just get a frame and then just jump into the frame with people and do some stuff. Okay, so yeah, and well, I already know that this was a better lens because I already watched it back off a couple of quick tests when I shot stuff outside the window. But this is going to give me a better idea as what it is going to be like for a vloggy thing and whatnot. So what I'm going to do now is switch over to both of these lenses on the tripod. The only thing is, I'm having a bit of bother here. It must be that time of the year, or that 1 or 2 days when all the ants grow wings and start flying off. I'm getting caked in ants here, so I might have to call this a day soon. It's not that I'm bothered by them, but they're just getting in the way of everything and they're getting me bag and everything. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll flip over and try some stuff on the tripod. Okay, so as it happens, I actually had my radio system in my bag. I didn't realise it was in the bottom of my bag. So what it is, I'm on the Clippy 172 at the moment on the Rode wireless system. Now the only problem with this is I've not kind of done my absolute level testing for this mic with the Rode link going into this camera. So the way I've got this set up at the moment is +10 on the transmitter and 0 on the receiver. Now the only problem is, I think if this isn't going to be loud enough, it's not going to be because it's not being transmitted loud enough. It'll be just the difference in level between the actual receiver and the input of the camera. So what I'm going to do here, just hoping it's working, I'll just walk around a little bit. Now as it stands at the moment, I've got the focus set on that to be like, that arm's length vlogging thing, but it will pick up the background okay. Highly likely to be a bit soft. So what I'm going to do now is put it onto infinite focus. Now just at that point there now, that's infinite focus actually. So if I get back to where it was, so this is my arm's length vlogging distance. Now I might not be that bad, I don't know. I should be a bit softer than what I was before, but if I come off it a little bit more, and obviously if I get to it maybe a distance, I mean I've not tested this, but if I come to a distance about here, this may well be, I mean the camera's just probably not at the right height or angle, but this may well be the kind of distance maybe for me to get me and someone else in the frame if I was doing a little bit of a talky thing or an interview or something. I'll just come back here a little bit more. I've just gone into a little bit of a dip here as well, so framing and stuff isn't going to be right. It's just, I just really want to see how wide it is as opposed to the composition. Now, as I come back further, I mean, I'm probably going to be a bit smaller now, I would imagine, but hopefully when I put that onto infinite focus, it's pulled things all right with it. So what I'll do, I'll just kind of walk over here into the distance a bit. Now, the thing with this is, when I did my quick test earlier on, I was very surprised at how well this lens looked, because it just didn't look bad at all. Let's put it this way, it didn't look like it cost £35, and it looks like something I can get away with. Now, the other thing as well though, it is f8 and it's very, very dull today. It's completely cloudy. Now, what I've done, I've set the camera so it doesn't go above 400 on the ISO. So the camera is actually doing a bit of an auto thing. I've locked it at 50 frames a second on the shutter. And like I say, I've told it not to go above 400 ISO, so it may well be maxing out at 400 right now, and I don't know whether or not it's going to be bright enough just because of the lens. Now, if this were a faster lens, this would have stopped down inside the camera already at the moment. The one thing that I can't quite work out is it would appear that you can't set aperture, or you can't lock the ISO completely by the looks of it. Now, I'm hoping that's just something to do with this being a manual lens. So because the camera has got no control whatsoever of the lens in this instance, I'm just hoping that, you know, it's one of them things where the camera is basically saying, well, look, I'm going to have to control the exposure here, so it's taken over the ISO. Hopefully that's the case, because if I get a fully automatic lens, even though you can put them into manual mode, once the camera identifies the lens, I think it won't mess with you when you go into manual mode, because I think the assumption at that point is that you are using the right lens, which, you know, you're forcing the aperture on. Okay, so there's just a couple of other little odd things, but I mean, literally I updated the firmware before, and you know, I've really got to kind of like get into it and learn it more. Anyway, that should be enough for this particular test. Oh, another thing as well is I have not set the camera on the right amount of time to record before it splits files. So this will have split file, and what I've noticed at the split point, it knocks the audio out on the next part of the take. So I'm going to have to extend how long. I think you can tell it to go up to 30 minutes before it does the split, which isn't a problem for me, because it's not like I don't normally record very long takes. It's all PC stuff. So what I'm going to do now anyway is flip over onto the cheap lens and just give that a crack as well on infinite focus. Okay, so I've switched over now onto the cheap lens, which sounds like a stupid thing to say when the expensive lens was like 35 quid or whatever it was. Yeah, so this is the £15 lens now, and I think I just had a little quick look back at the other one. I'm not too sure whether the framing's right here or at least the height of the camera, so I've just dropped the height down a bit more here, because what it is, there's a bit of a little dip that you can't see, and so I go down a fair bit when I walk back. I'm just hoping actually that this has been recording audio, otherwise this is just going to look like someone miming. And these ants are doing me head in now. I was flapping just then. I thought, well, I want to take the lens off, hope no ants get into, you know, inside the actual sensor and stuff. Anyway, so this is my full arm's length away, and right now this is the optimum focal setting for this distance for doing a vlog thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put this onto infinite. Okay, so there I am on infinite. So what I'm going to do is just get back into this vlog position again, just so I can have a quick look on playback, just to see if I can notice how much softer it's gone. Now, the only thing with this is this lens is soft, and it definitely won't be resolving the kind of resolution that this camera is capable of recording. I mean, the weird thing is that Canon one, the Olympus one, that isn't actually that bad. What it is, they do a number of different ones. I've put it back in the bag. They do a number of different ones in this little kind of like lens cap system that they do, and I think they do a 9mm. That's a 15, and I think they do a third size as well. Now, I've seen people moaning, saying that these lenses are crap and everything, and like, you know, color imagery and all kinds of crap like that. But for what I've paid for that lens, it's not bad. And you know, I think it will have a use as well. This lens, on the other hand, not very good. Although I think maybe, because I think this is actually an f8 as well. It says something different on the actual body, but it's definitely an f8, because there's no way that this is going to be anything, you know, faster than an f8, just because of the way it's being made, and it, you know, the cost of it and stuff. Yeah, so basically I'm just hoping that this one, if the weather was dead bright, this might actually be all right. I've got no doubt that the Olympus one's going to get better as well with brighter weather. Anyway, so or brighter sun, that is. So yeah, I'm definitely on infinite focus. So what I'm going to do is just walk off a little bit. So if I come here, I mean, the thing is, this will look quite long and wide now. And again, I don't know if there's going to be enough kind of resolution in it to kind of notice too much differences, or any differences in the actual focusing as I've like changed its focus. So yeah, I'll just talk a little bit more as I'm walking, because I just do need to see how both of these are responding. I mean, the good thing is, I've ended up paying, like, you know, a little over 50 quid for these two lenses. I also bought a what's the name, like a you know, a CCD lens as well. You know, one of them kind of like C-mount 16mm ones. And I bought a, what's the name for that as well, a C-mount to what's the name, C-mount to the Micro Four Thirds adapter on it. So what it is, I've been using that, and that is actually quite decent. The only problem is it's a very long lens by comparison. So the problem we've got with that lens is, although optically it's sharper optically, but it does all kinds of nonsense on the edges, vignetting and stuff, and all kinds of things. But it is useful to a certain degree. The only problem is, I think it says it's a native 35mm lens, which basically equates, I think, to 70mm by the time you put it on a Micro Four Thirds as well. So it does have a fairly massive zoom on it. Although, like I say, in certain parts of the glass, at certain throws on the focus with you know, setting its what's the name, its aperture, it can look great. But the thing is, it's f1.8 or 1.7, and it really is, you know, fast and bright. And once you kind of get down, stop it down to about f8, f10, something like that, it becomes extremely sharp. Still goes weird on the edges and stuff, do you know what I mean? It vignettes and stuff, and, like, you know, focus drops off in certain parts. But I'm gonna have to try. I should have brought it out, actually. I'm gonna have to try that. These ants are all over me. What's going on? Anyway, yeah, I'll call this a day now, because this is going to be enough footage for me to kind of gauge what's going on. Plus as well, there's been a few people walk past, and as much as what I'm getting used to just talking to myself and not giving a, you know, toss about when people are walking past, I do still feel like a tool doing it. Anyways, this is the end of the test.